Morning all. Into the sun again. It is Friday the 15th of April. It's about 9:22. It's Good Friday, bank holiday. I'm taking advantage of it to get some legwork in. So that's Lymington again. And I parked the car just sort of down there a bit at the ferry. Big old all-day car park. They do 1 hour, 2 hour and 16 hours, so they're fine. I'm definitely going to need all of the hours that they've got today, though. This is going to be a long one. This is going to be 14 miles all in, because it's a circular, because there's no buses, remarkably, between Beaulieu and Lymington. Beaulieu's where I'm trying to get to, but I also have to come back again to pick up the car today. So still, on the plus side, no mucking around, waiting around for buses for half the morning. So on the downside, I've got 14 miles to do today. I did 6 last time, so more than twice as much today. It's going to be a bit of an endurance one. And also, it's going to be a bit of a not very coastal one as well, which is annoying. So pretty much from Minehead, which is sort of that way-ish, about 300 miles away, I've been able to follow the coast path, obviously the southwest coast path itself, along the coast. And then eventually, many episodes later, and well done you for watching most of them, if you've watched most of them, get to Sandbanks at Poole Harbour, which is sort of about 100 miles that way. Maybe 50 miles, 60 miles that way. And from there, I was able to just follow the coast again, still. Bournemouth, the Bournemouth coast path, the Christchurch coast path, various bits. And now I'm on the Solent Way. Unfortunately, the Solent Way, well, I don't think it's the Solent Way's fault, really. I think it's the New Forest's fault. The New Forest just does not have coastal paths. Despite the English coast path, marine foreshore access, whatever, Marine Foreshore Access Land Act of 2000 whatever, something or other. Yeah, there's very little coast actually on a little path that follows the actual coast through the New Forest. I mean, basically, I'm not going to be along the coast now until Southampton, the other side of the Solent itself. So we're following the Solent Way instead for today. But I think even that, after today, on the next section, I'm going to give up and just have to work it all out myself, because there's nothing. Anyway, there we are at the moment, which goes through the New Forest, which is the other side of this line. And there's a monument up there, which we'll go and have a look at directly. But yeah, so it's a bit of an inland one today, a significant inland detour of a couple of days, actually, which is new for me on this whole endeavour, because it's very much been about how to keep the sea on your right and keep trudging, Now I'm going to have to go inland and go off into the New Forest, which I suspect is lovely, and it is an amazingly lovely day. It's going to be about high of 20 degrees today, apparently. It'll be sunny all day. I've got my hat, I've got the suntan stuff. I think I should crack on, because I've got an evening commitment. I need to be back at home in time for 7, and I'm about an hour and a half's drive from home, so I need to crack on. But yeah, let's get on with it, and we'll talk more as we go, but about the route and the problems that are going to be facing me going forward. It's been going less than 100 metres, I think, probably. Check out the obelisk. Let's check out the obelisk. Unusual. This is an obelisk to commemorate Sir Harry Burrard Neal. Represented the borough of Lymington in many parliaments, or was an MP, during the space of 40 years, with zeal, uprightness, this might be a G, uprightness. His anxious desire was ever to do good and promote the prosperity of his native town. Well, I guess that's pretty much what you want from an MP. Oh gosh, there's more on the side. Gosh, went on a bit. His name, to whose memory his testimonial is subscribed, is so deeply graven into the hearts of all who knew him, that while any of those survived, there needed not the record of stone or marble to preserve it from oblivion. But because this changeable scene all living records passed swiftly away, it is here written as more durable memorial that he was one, of whom, when the ear heard it, blah, 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 blah. I'm bored now. Oh dear. So, yes. So, crack on. So the problem today is the Beaulieu River, which bisects the New Forest, and basically, oh, I've lost already, I think it's this way. I'll have to check the map in a minute. Yeah, I'll show you on the map, but yeah, basically cuts the New Forest in half, and there's no bridge up until Beaulieu itself, which is about 4 or 5 miles upriver from the coast. Let's have a look at the map. Right. Oops, find the map. Side pocket. Show you some idea of what's going on today. Right, yes. So let's see. There. And we're starting here. And the path sort of goes that way in. Oh, hello. Dog invasion. Right, anyway, it's on the left here. The other side of this golf course. Yes, as I was explaining or trying to, I give up. I don't know. I'll talk to you later. I've just lost it now. Whew. It's okay, I've got my shit together again now. Here is some forest. Part of the New Forest. An unrepresentative part in my experience. On the whole, I find the New Forest to be a bit of ancient moorland, but still very interesting and pretty. So yeah, we're on the Solent Way at the moment. It's about the nearest thing I've got to a footpath to follow. Little seagulls with green arrows. And already I've nearly got lost twice on a golf course and once in a pick your own strawberry patch. And the strawberries aren't even in season. Yeah, this is going to be increasingly a problem. Blimey, yeah, so right, not only did I get savaged by a dog there, well I say savaged, he was just curious to be honest, not aggressive. But also whilst I was loudly bad-mouthing their town's local historic MP, there were a pair of old folks sat on the far side of the monument who I completely forgot completely didn't scout out or recce before starting up. So yes, so I got feeling it's going to be one of those days. And the worst thing is I haven't seen or heard the sea since I set off. Now chirpy forest instead. It's a bit like a bat in a noisy room, you know, I just can't function without knowing where the sea is. So yeah. So yeah, look, that's going left, which is even further inland and looks to be just following minor country roads for most of the day. A bit disappointing. We're trying to get to Buckler's Hard first. I can't be bothered to get the map out again in case I'm spooked by another dog, but Buckler's Hard is an old sort of port smuggling fishing village whatever thing on the Beaulieu River. And then we'll travel up the Beaulieu River to Beaulieu itself, and that'll be the end of the day. I think it's about 10 miles all in, but then I have to get back to the car park, so which is essentially going to be me trudging along the side of an A road for the remaining sort of 6 or 7 miles back to the car. So pretty much the way I drove here. Well, that's okay, I don't mind. I can switch the camera off and just go all zen for that bit. But yeah, I've taken for granted really how incredibly well signposted and accessible the Southwest Coast Path is. And yes, the Bournemouth Coast Path up to this point as well, but I think pretty much from today onwards it gets a bit more complex. I mean, it picks up again at Southampton on the other side of the Solent itself, which for me is going to be about three more day hikes to the other side of there. And then it's a bit easier along there. But I mean, once I get past Emsworth, Chichester or whatever, I'm not going to have any paths whatsoever. I'm going to have to just wing it. But I have hit on a bit of a solution, and I'll explain about that a bit more later. But all is not lost. I think it's still doable. I think it's still a viable project. But yes, I'm going to have to work harder at the navigation, actually pay attention to signs and things, and actually read the map a lot more as well. I mean, now more than ever, I need the actual maps. To be honest, I could have saved myself about 15 quid each, 10 quid each. And I got through about 15 or 16 Ordnance Survey Explorer Series maps on the Southwest Coast Path, pretty much none of which I actually needed. They were interesting, certainly, and I'm glad I got them, but I rarely ever needed them for actual navigation. And even then, you know, the phone itself, Google Maps and whatever, did a reasonable job of putting me back on the track. So, but now, we're you know, particularly once past Chichester, so about a week, 2 weeks worth of hiking time ahead, it's just going to be entirely up to me and my map. There's not going to be any quirky circular signs to follow on posts. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be challenging as well. But yeah, like I said, I think I found a plan. I think I've got a solution. But anyway, I need to crack on today because long way. And although it's sunset like 8 or 9 today now, clocks are changed and already it's racing forwards into spring and the summer months. So plenty of daylight, but I haven't got the whole day because I want to be home before a certain time this evening because it's a Friday. I've got stuff to do. So yeah, anyway, go. Yeah, now just yomping along some very typical, very typical Hampshire farmland. It's a bit of a, this is sort of what it looks like back home, to be honest. But then, you know, home is Hampshire, so you know it does look like this. So that's about as close to the sea as I think we're going to get all day, which is a bit depressing. You can just sort of see the Solent. Go on, focus. No? What's happened to your focus? There you go. You can sort of see a bit of the Solent. That's the Isle of Wight in the background. A little bit of the intervening gap. And obviously this is not a coast path. This is disappointing, I think, but expedient. It's not that I'm choosing the Solent way because it's convenient. I'm choosing the Solent way because there just isn't any paths along the sea at the edge there. It would basically be a lot of sort of going down tracks to the sea and then having to come back along the track, move along the road a little bit, then down the next track to the sea and then back again. And a lot of it's farmland, private, whatever. I try not to trespass when I can avoid it, you know. Aircraft landing strip. Right. Yeah, so I don't know, I suppose it's a bit of a palate cleanser then, really. Let's not look at it as a negative. Let's turn that frown upside down. No, I've got a grumpy resting face. I am smiling, really. It's just nice to, I think probably let's enjoy not being on the coast path for a day or two, yeah? Let's do that. Let's make this endeavour enjoy a bit of inland countryside. There's lots to recommend the inland countryside. Fields on both sides, for example. Bit of quiet. It's quieter than following the sea generally. Not as many ice creams, which I suppose is a good thing, really. Do eat too many ice creams. Big old caravan site there, I think. So this is the first day of a 4-day bank holiday weekend of Easter. I mean, I was quite tempted to try and get 4 hikes in, but I ended up finding myself booked for a lot of other things to do this weekend as well. But that's good, because the 4-day weekend means I can get the hiking day done as well as the other things I want to do. So that's nice too. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think I'm wondering if I'm a bit behind schedule. See, I went, so like 2 weeks ago, just after the last one of these, presumably, I went off and started week 1 of the Couch to 5k again. And after the first run, I managed to twinge my back somehow, which meant I physically couldn't even walk to work, which is a journey of a mile each way. And had to drive to work. That was humiliating. Yeah, and I just really didn't want to do any kind of walking because I got about 200 metres into my walk to work and I got to the point where I was just clutching at my umbrella and using it as a cane and not able to move because it was just so painful. I was just stood there clutching the umbrella for support and breathing really hoarsely. RAF Lymington. Imagine standing here in spring 1944, the Royal Thunderbolt fighter bombers taking off to support the D-Day landing and 100 people living and training here. Remaining blister hangar. Oh yeah, look, there it is. So this was actually a World War II airstrip. See, you haven't seen that on the coast. Well, you might have done, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I was complaining about my... we're going back towards the sea, that's good. Yeah, I was complaining about my back, but I imagine you don't really want to hear it, to be honest. Anyway, long and the short of it is I've taken 2 weekends off of doing this, particularly since this was going to be a 14-miler. And I'm only just back at it now, which is why we're suddenly into the bank holiday weekend and it's basically summer. A lot of leaves still to come, budding, but yeah, not long now. But my plan was to get to Portsmouth, South Sea, Portsmouth, like about 4 days that way from here, really, hiking worth. And then use the hovercraft there to go and do a camping trip on the Isle of Wight for a week off of work. Do a proper one like I used to do, you know, back when I was actually an explorer, not a day tripper. I say explorer. Anyway, you get the idea. But I don't know what the schedule's going to be like that, because I usually do one of these in the first week of May and then the last week of September. But then I thought, well, cobblers, you know. I don't know what, the only reason I picked those particular weeks is just because they have the optimum predicted temperature and climate for hiking and camping out. Too cold earlier and too hot later, but I don't think it matters too much if I'm a few weeks either way. But yes, at some point soon there will be a week of backpacking with a tent over on the Isle of Wight. But first I need to get quite a bit more of the Solent done, which is that away. So that's the plan anyway. So yeah, rambling again, and rambling. Some rural scenes there. What's going on there? Is that fertilising? Seed drilling? Is it harrowing? Whatever it is, the seagulls love it. Just seeds and disturbed worms and insects and things in the wake of it. Brilliant. So yeah, nice bit of farm track here. I mean, so far it's not been too bad actually. There's a little bit of road work, but mostly this Solent Way does seem to be trying to follow footpaths and tracks where it can. You know, I don't object to the Solent Way particularly. It's doing the best of a bad job. It's just, I don't know. I mean, I was doing a bit of research into all of this because the vaunted England coast path, it should be there by now, but you know, everything stops for COVID. And then it's, yeah, I mean, there's a part of the government website which covers it, about planning permission, about projected route, the developmental state of each of the sections of the route. I can't remember which bit I'm on now, zone 14 perhaps. It's got quite a bureaucratic nomenclature, for real. I'm inventing the whole concept of the southeast coast path myself, but yeah. And all I found really regarding the New Forest and the England Coast Path was, I think, basically a page by the New Forest Community Association or something similar, which was basically a massive essay about why public access to the New Forest was a bad idea. So I don't think they're really pro footpath. But no, I don't know what the deal is, because you know, you can go and look yourselves on Google Maps, Google Earth or whatever, and have a look at the land. If you find a satellite and look at the land I'm wandering through, you'll see that actually on the very coast itself, it is just the forest goes up to the sea and then stops. There's no like foreshore really, because it's quite sheltered from the Isle of Wight. So it doesn't have a massive tidal range or huge bank of pebbles or anything you could build a path on. You'd have to start hacking into the forest and cutting through farmland and people's gardens and whatnot. Quite a lot of posh houses along the very edge of the sea there. All of the sorts of people who would have enough clout to make life difficult when planning anything. So yeah, Solent Way. Good. Let's keep at it. What time is it anyway? How am I doing? 10 o'clock. I probably want to be drinking more than usual today. It's quite sunny today. Nice breeze. Yeah, I probably ought to put the suntan stuff on when I stop next. A little bit of wisps high in the sky. But it's like mackerelling there, is it? I don't know. That'll turn into cloud bank once it gets inland, I suppose. But down here, lovely. So yeah, sleeves up. I think you have to keep an eye on the water and the sun tanning and stuff today. It's probably the first proper day, I'd have to say that, this year. Wilty daffodils. A cricket club. This is very English. Sight screen there, I think. I know what a sight screen is, I don't know what it's for. Don't know. I think there's some sort of pavilion type arrangement over there. It's a Friday, no one will be playing cricket on a Friday, my word. And there's this particular sort of wrought iron, I don't know, rusty old metal multi-bar fencing that you see on estate driveways of the old school. Good stand of yew there. Bull in field. Oh, now you tell me. Oh, he's very good at camouflage wherever he is. Alright, where am I going? Here's a thing. Public footpath. A little style. Oh, I see. It doesn't actually go into the... Yeah, so it just follows this track. Right, okay. Carry on. I must sit down and put some suntan stuff on. If I can make myself stop. I find myself in the zone again. Still, I will stop when I'm tired and thirsty, I'm sure. And at that point I can also slather my arms. Mind you, I think going one day without any might just bulk up my pastiness a bit. Make me start to look more like a normal human being of the ordinary variety. Okay. Looking for signs. Maybe, maybe not. This is it. Every turning is a possibility when you're in this kind of environment. You never know. Oh, there's a stile there though. Swing gatey thing. Yeah, I think it's straight on. Good. Right, carry on. Yeah, cricket. That's delightful in the middle of summer. Not really a cricket person myself. Never really understood the rules. It's something to do with hitting the ball quite far, not having it caught by one of the other people who is dressed in the same team colours as you, which is confusing. Don't they do different colours for like World Cup cricket or something? I'm sure I've seen brightly coloured cricket people. Or was that Morris dancers? So it's a very, very fine line, frankly, I find. Meticulous lawn. Ready for the season. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Yep, definitely in the New Forest. Cattle grid on a main road. Okay. Oh, I'm going to walk across it, I don't care. My feet are actually big enough to span the slats, so I'm under no danger whatsoever. As long as I, try to sidestep across it. Right, Buckler's Heath that way by road. I suspect that's probably where I need to be going as well, but there's a sign over there, I think. So what's that, 5 miles away? That's my nominal lunch stop. Yes, let's walk over there so I don't have to zoom. I can actually look at it with my eyes. Yeah, it's a little village green thing. Junction, whatever. Yeah. Oh, hello. This looks like me. Not going that way, that looks busy. Silent Way. Okay. To be fair, their signage for the Silent Way has not been bad so far. I've generally been able to find it when I've been trying to find it. Ugh, careful. Bit of a squeeze. Yeah, diet not going well, if I'm honest. Mist. So the sun boiling off the sea there in the Solent. Not sure what that is. Sea spray? Who knows? It's not that windy today. Don't know what it's like away from the shelter of these trees though. That's something about inland hiking, I think. A bit less exposed. Right, along the edge of this field. Oh look, I can see the sea. Got a sort of glimpse. And over there. I don't know why it's so misty and shiny. Perhaps I was lucky to not be near the sea today. Today's the day it just all evaporates violently. Now I'm meandering along a field. It's quite a nice dense forest back there as well. I should have got some snaps of that, but I was just having a reflective moment really and didn't want to talk to you. I'm okay now though. Yeah, you just don't see that kind of scenery on Coast Path. I'm starting to regard the Solent Path as a sort of guest speaker in the hiking club that is my life. So a bit of a change, teaching me something new. Although, it's not so different from the South Downs way, which is broadly similar to this as well, as people who look elsewhere in the channel will know. It's lovely in there though, look at that soft green grass under the widely spread trees, probably plantation of some sort. Hard to see the lines though. I suppose you sort of can if you just sort of, yeah, there you go. An old plantation, it's been there a while, but sort of dwarfed trees on this side a bit all twisty. I guess they must get a bit of prevailing wind off the Solent. Listen to me pretending I know stuff about nature. I ought to by now, I've been out here long enough. Non-consecutively. Ooh, what have we got here? Little white flowers. Are we daisies? No, probably not. Probably some other thing that's not a daisy. What do you think? What do you think, guys? Don't know. Something like a daisy, but not a daisy. Roses, clearly. I'm not even going to try and guess the crop. That never really took off as a game show concept, I found. Yeah. It's nice. Bit of gorse of some sort. Not that around the New Forest. I guess it's a sandy sort of soil. Or is it the not sandy soil? I don't know. Blimey, the crap I come up with to fill the empty spaces on these trips. Oh, I've had a cool thing the other day. I was clicking along down a Wikipedia rabbit hole, as you do. Came across the concept of the Australian National Highway number 1, which is a single continuous highway route that goes around the entire coast of the Australian continent. It's the longest continuous road in the world. And people do obviously try and do it as a challenge. Apparently the circumnavigation of the Australian road is a road which they're proud to announce is entirely sealed all the way around now. 6 days. It's 9,000 miles long. That's obviously not walking. I guess they must have been in a car of some sort. Actually, at 6 days, I suspect there was a team of them taking shifts at the wheel, continuously driving, stopping only to refuel the car, you know. I mean, various package holiday travel websites advertise stretches of it as a thing and recommend, like, you know, about 2 years to do the whole thing, so better, you know, meander your way around and see everything. With a sort of detour trip to Uluru, formerly Ayers Rock, which is very much not on the coast. Oh, hello. You've seen a sign somewhere. It's me gobbing off about road trips I'm never going to make. Ah, here we are, that way. Thank you. Oh, yeah, there. Yeah, so there's a challenge to add to the bucket list. Drive the entire circumference of Australia. Why not? You have to sleep in the car because basically everything that crawls on the surface of that continent wants to kill you and can easily. Yeah, I've never really had I'd like to see Australia, I suppose, but you know, could take or leave it. But I don't know, when I was growing up as a teenager and whatever, I'd have aspirational dreams about driving Route 66, the grand coast to coast, was it Chicago to San Francisco, I think. Was it Los Angeles? No, I think it's Los Angeles, yeah. Big long highway across America. Most of it doesn't even exist anymore. It's all sort of been superseded by super state high freeway things in various sections, but now I ended up walking the southwest coast path at Cornwall instead, which is probably better in a way. I'm near at 66, fine, yeah, okay, driving in America, that's an experience, which I have done. It wasn't that I kept driving on the wrong side of the road, it's that the car was wrong. Steering wheel was on the other side from what I was expecting. So I ended up sitting with the car half off and half on the road because I was trying to place myself over the carriageway in the correct position, as I thought. So I kept driving nearly off the road a lot. That's my excuse anyway. But oh yeah, it was an automatic, which I'd never driven before as well. I didn't quite understand the difference between D and 3. I thought 3 was the top gear, so I was basically revving the crap out of that thing in the Arizona desert through places where, if the car broke down, I'd probably die because I didn't have any water with me. But yeah, apart from that, good times. But yeah, no, I don't know. The Australian road route, mind you, it's referred to by a lot of some Australian politicians as a death trap because there's so many parts of it that are just dual carriageway into the horizon, flat, no change of scenery, nothing, for like hundreds of miles without a bend or junction. And quite a lot of people tend to die because they fall asleep at the wheel on it. So yeah, perhaps it's not as interesting as as I'm imagining. As I'm only reviewing highlight clips in my head, in my imagination. Oh, road. I guess we follow alongside. Ooh. Oh yeah, there it is. The old oilseed rape. An unfortunate name for a principal ingredient in margarine. Bright yellow flowers, very distinctive smell. I can smell it from here. I don't know if that's that pollen that sets me off. It's grass mostly. My hay fever kicks in sort of June, last couple of weeks in June. People are getting tree pollen stuff right now already, so I've never really been a tree pollen person, so that's okay. Ah, right, let's carry on walking without talking for a bit, I think. Yeah. Hence the cattle grids. Well, let's just keep it calm, saunter on through. Smile and wave, boys. Glossy, well cared for. Woof woof. can just about hear bees. Yes, fresh doings. I think they just roam. This is just a road. They're not like, you know, got saddles or bridles or anything. That's what the cattle grids are for, keep them in a sort of reasonable area. I think it's like some ancient medieval charter or something that allows common grazing on the New Forest. One of the reasons it looks like so much scrubby moorland in most places. Lots of places, certainly. I don't know how you find your own horses at the end of the season or whatever. I think they just round up all the horses they can find to a central place. I think I've seen it. It might be at Beaulieu road station. Big stockade sort of thing. And then I suppose you just go through looking for your own brand or mark or whatever. Yeah, am I thinking of Dartmoor? I know they have something similar on Dartmoor as well. Yeah, common grazing. Have to be a bit careful when you're driving through here. Keep it slow. Never know when you're going to suddenly fly around a bend like that and find a small herd of horses in the middle of the road, which will do significant damage in retaliation if you hit them. Largely just because of their mass, not necessarily through any particular aggression of theirs. Right, still looking for the old seagull. I've been hanging up to dry a bit. This says no access for HGVs. Private road. Not seeing a green seagull sign. Carry on along here then. I might have to get the map out in a minute, admit defeat. Kind of heading the right direction, parallel to the sun, but that's about all I could tell you. Mind you, I've been sort of following this road for quite a while. This is the same one that said Buckler's hard 5, so if all else fails, just follow this road. I'll get to where I need to be, but that seems like even more cheating than following an inland coast, non-coast path, really. Oh. Yeah, I don't know. It could be anywhere in Hampshire at this point. It's just a very Hampshire-ish landscape. There it is. Good. East End. Okay! A reference almost no one's going to get. Brilliant. Horse riders. Just taking it easy. Why not? Lovely day for it. Lettergery Farm. They put a bench up front. I'm going to use it. Quite happy with my progress so far. And you know, they've gone to all this trouble of leaving a bench here. Ooh, like the brightly painted 1930s agricultural equipment in the yard there. Anyway, enough stalking. Oh, right. So we're about a mile and a half, 2 miles out of Buckler's Hard. It's an hour at most. Stop and get some lunch there, definitely. But for now, I just want to get a bit of water. It's that time of year again, water's an essential. Here we are. Don't go anywhere without at least a litre. I bring that with me everywhere in winter as well, and found I never really needed it, but didn't really fancy a thermos. Tried a thermos on South Downs Way. I found that unless I made it about 2 days ahead, it was actually too hot to drink whilst on the trail. Thermos of coffee. Had to sort of make it the night before, not before setting off, just to give it time to cool down in its crazy vacuum flask. Birchery Farm. Right. Picture a sheep hanging from a ribbon. Is that a paratrooper, paradrop? Sort of Metal Gear Solid thing going on? Don't know. Well, I've got nothing to say really. I'm just going to sit here and chill for a moment. Just had to stop and capture this view. Just prove to myself, more than anything else, that it's still there. I don't think we've made the turn up towards Buckler Hard up the Beaulieu River yet then. Somewhere down there is a thing called Needs Or Point, which is the mouth of the river. There's really no point going there, even if you could. It might be accessible somehow, but it doesn't go anywhere and you just have to come straight back. Yeah, following the road inland, around the corner. think it turns at the end of here and heads north, eventually reaching Buckler's Hard. It's nice. Distant glitter. And the mysterious Isle of Wight, terra incognito. No one knows what lies across the Solent. I think they still have dragons. I'll have to check. As soon as I put the camera away, here we go, press pause for more information. Advanced landing ground, gun site, you are here. Is there a river? What river am I looking at? Or was that a road? Some Leonard's Road. Oh, I'm on the road. Oh, I see. Ah, right, that's south that way. Right, got you. And look, press pause for poetry. Some juxtaposed barbed wire there for you as well, just to add the extra poignancy. Oh God, they made us do Wilfred Owen in school, I remember it. It was hard work. You know, you're young, you got your whole life ahead of you. What you need really then is just a war poet droning on and on and on. There you go. Scan screen for more information. Yeah, it's the last thing you need when you're like a 12, 13-year-old boy is just repeated dull poetry going on and on about how awful dying in a war is. You know, I kind of assumed that was the case, but I still enjoy computer games that depict wars, so, you know, perhaps it was all wasted. I tend not to enjoy depictions of actual historic wars, mind you. Made up fantasy or science fiction wars, that's fine. But yeah, all around this area. We'll be looking at Leap on the next trip, and that's where they did a whole load of staging for D-Day landings and tank exercises and that sort of thing. This whole region of the country is littered with this stuff, particularly around Southampton and Portsmouth, I think. But we'll probably see more of it as we travel onwards into Sussex and Kent and stuff like that. Left its legacy on the landscape, much as a legacy is being laid down on the Ukrainian landscape right now. Yeah. On that cheery note, I'm going to stop recording for a bit. Big old ancient barn. There's probably a sign somewhere. Sign back there saying no access to the beach, protected nature reserve, whatever, and it said the nearest public beach is Leap, which is the other side of the Beaulieu River and back down the coast up near Cowshot. So yeah, I guess that's why there's no footpath. There's just no public access down there, despite whatever Marine Foreshore Act says. Who knows? Happy enough to follow this, but I think me and the Solent Way are going to have words next time. Nature's Verge maintenance crew doing their bit to keep the place looking tidy. Probably. Oh, look at that, proper manor house style. There's another ruined bit there. Looks like a chapel, or once was. Although it's got different style of windows on each side of that arch. Asymmetric. It's been renovated at least once. Perhaps make it just to give it that look. Stop it collapsing completely, perhaps. Give it a good old roll around. What's that on the throat? Like a bandage or something. Could be worse. I mean, you know, an inland detour trudging along a road, it could be like a dual carriageway or an A road or something, but this is basically just a wide footpath that cars occasionally come down, upon which I have to throw myself in this spiky hedge. But yeah, coming up from Buckler's Hard now, can't be more than a mile or so away. Intend to get something to eat there, although I probably won't stop. I'll need to try and find a sandwich or some bags of crisps or something. It's a shame because Buckler's Hard is quite a charming ye oldie, oh God, I don't know, 16th century? I don't even know what era, what epoch. So somewhere between Middle Ages and the Industrial Revolution, I imagine. But got a charming little place that's ideal for cream teas on a patio or something. I think it might be the heat getting to me, actually. Should definitely see if they've got any chilled lemonades. Bottle for preference. And then I need to crack on up the river to Beaulieu itself. Famed for its motor museum, which I've never actually visited, and won't today either because I haven't got time. Plus, it's a bank holiday, it's going to be rammed, I suspect. Oh, another cyclist. I don't mind cyclists, although they are quite hard to hear. You just have to hope they don't want to run into you. You can't really do much about it if they do. Don't get enough warning. Oh, horse. Ah. Since I put the camera away, I came around the corner and here we are. Now, I came here once before, drove here, brought my mum for a day out, and it was a lot of faff with coach parks and special parking and tickets and meandering through and stuff. Coming on foot from that direction, the path literally just goes through that fence there, and then you're basically here. This is the view I remember. I didn't bother going in any of the places. They're all like little museums and stuff. Although a lot of them are lived in, a lot of them are actual houses. There's like museums and tea shops and stuff. But just that sort of double row of houses leading down to the water, quite an iconic, I suppose, distinctive site. And yeah, they are quite old buildings, but I don't know how old. It's probably a sign somewhere. I mean, hell, you've got the internet right there. As ever, you can always look it up. Yeah, I think when I went and looked around all the museums and things, I just sat on the grass up here, just chilling. And it is a very chill spot, very peaceful, even on a bank holiday with all the tourists. That's the Beaulieu River itself down the bottom. A lot of marinas and yachting and boating and stuff along here. A lot of money in this part of the world. Oh, there, another Ukrainian flag. Yeah. It's amazing how you start to normalise a land war in Europe. Seems it's been going on for a month now. Not sure what else to say. Anyway, I'm trying to ignore it all. Focus on my day out. Right, so at the bottom I think I turn left and then there should be a path along through a forest up to Beaulieu itself, but we'll see. Google seemed to think it was closed for some reason. COVID perhaps. Gonna have to go and see. Don't know if there's much in the way of shops here either, really. Might have to wait till Beaulieu for lunch. Pint of lemonade and a bag of crisps. I'll get a sandwich in Beaulieu probably. So a quick little look around before we head off again. Murky. Yeah, lots of cruisers and yachts going up and down, out to the Solent that way. It's about as near to the sea as we're going to come until Southampton, probably, or Calshot. Calshot, I expect, Leap, yeah. We're in fact going upriver to Beaulieu. So there's some distance up that way along a big long forest trail, which we hope to pick up through there. Yeah, so it's about 12 o'clock, 12:13. Oh, hello. No, don't. Yeah, 12:13, which means I'm pretty much on schedule. This is good. It's just annoying to have a schedule today, but that's okay. If it were a Sunday, I could take as long as I like, but I've got stuff to do this evening. Let's keep going. Past lifestyles of the rich and famous. Quite popular along here all of a sudden. I reckon the trail between here and Beaulieu is probably going to be quite busy as well. People out for a walk. Nice day. So there was an option back there for the direct route to Beaulieu, or the riverside walk, not suitable for bicycles. Yes, I made a decision that may doom us all. Still, it does look more interesting, so we get to follow alongside the river, which is kind of a coast of sorts. Next best thing. The reassuring glimmer of water in my peripheral right-hand vision. I feel more comfortable, can relax a bit now. See all the different yachts and things. Plus less people on this one, the other one's quite busy. It's only about an hour between Buckler's Hard and Beaulieu on foot, so should be there by 1, grab a sandwich and then head back. Raised wooden planking path, always a good sign. Probably don't want to be here in a very high tide. Nice there. Press pause for more information. Sea trout. Come in slowly, goes out rapidly. Yeah, it's tidal then, probably salty. Salt marsh. Quite tranquil. Alright, smooth. So we ended up back on the quick route after all, which is a very quick route. It's pretty much straight, wide path, all the way from one end to the other. This must be the bit Google was telling me about then. Presumably there used to be a path off into there to go and look at the river again, but we've already seen some of that, so that's okay. I'm okay with it having a chance to recover. So, yes, let's crack on this way. I think that will pretty much put us in Beaulieu. I want to get to the bridge over the river itself. And then I can put a pin in that and say start here next time. But then, yes, I'll have to walk back to Lymington along probably the main A road. Which, according to Google Maps, does go through a nice bit of attractive moorland. Don't know if I need to film that or not. Don't generally bring you with me on the return trips to the car, so we'll see. Oh, is that primroses, is it? I know nature. Probably. Oh, somebody's ready for global warming. These houses are on 10, 12 foot stilts. There's quite a few of them, the cabins. Going to take a lot to wash them away. Oh, what happened here? The path goes through here. I mean, you know, when it's allowed to follow the coast or rivers or whatever, then the Solent Way is not bad, but yeah. Got a lot of inland roadway cop out as far as I've seen so far. Still, going to be coming up on Beaulieu before long. Yeah, this is all looking quite villagey. Unless I'm very much lost, it's probably the village I'm aiming at. Someone left the gate open. Terrible. Right, follow the finger. Charming, quaint little village school. Yeah, I'll be seeing tea shops and antique boutiques before long. It's become pretty much my guiding stars by now, this part of the world. A lot of antiquery goes on down here. Oh, there we are. Beaulieu Chocolate Studio. Probably a number of antique shops. There's other bits and pieces. General store. Ah, right, they might have a sandwich. New Forest ice cream, old-fashioned sweets. Well, whatever. And then it's onto the bridge, somewhere up there, I think. Cool. So here we are. That's the bridge I was aiming at, I think. Or was it that next one over there? Hard to tell. Anyway, Solent Way continues on that way. I think this is pretty much where I wanted to be today. It's Beaulieu Manor or something through there. Big old wall. And it's, yeah, about 1 o'clock. It's perfect. Yeah. So I need to get to here and then head to Cowshire, I reckon, next time. Enough of the Solent Way. It's going to chop off too much. Yeah. turns out the general store wasn't general enough to do sandwiches, so I need to keep looking, try and find a co-op or something to have such things here. Anyway, right, I'm going to, I don't know, I think I probably will leave you here actually, and then just trudge on back along an A road in grim silence, which you don't need to sit through. National Motor Museum that way. So yes, I shall leave you with this delightful summery view of the River Beaulieu, at Beaulieu itself, and see you next time.